Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura. So, obviously, we all know the importance of actually Vrindavan, right? Because Lord Krishna performed his pastimes there. What we call he used to do the Ashtakaliya Leela, no? Eightfold pastimes. So when we study, I think Sri Chopnishad, so that will actually, there is actually verse that actually talks about that as well. So we will actually, study that as well. So Krishna performs 8 Kaliya, the Ashtakaliya Leela there. So that also, the Ras dance is also there and all that. So that is quite a higher subject matter for me to discuss. But what we're trying to understand here is why Vrindavan is actually more significant. Also, His Grace Amrish Prabhu also gave a class, the Vrindavan, the Ramyasthan. So we all remember, it was very, it gives actually the description of Vrindavan, how Lord Krishna and his associates and also gopis, they perform their pastimes and how Krishna enjoyed there in association of their devotees. So, because of their pastimes, that place, Vrindavan, has got its significance, it's a holy place. And it says that because Krishna has performed, various pastimes in Vrindavan, so his footsteps are everywhere in the Vrindavan. The imprints of his footsteps can be seen anywhere in the Vrindavan because, he has played there, he has performed different pastimes, he has also killed many demons who come to kill him. So all those actually pastimes are very nectarian. And that's why. And it's also said that actually the Vrindavan that we see in India, in this material world, is the reflection of actual Golak Vrindavan in a spiritual planet. And yeah, looking at actually means there are a lot of glories of Vrindavan. There is no end to it. It will take many classes to describe all that. But here, Srila Prabhupada says that there are 12 different ones, the forests. So some of the example given here is a Talwan, Madhuvan, Bahulavan. So some of you must have actually, you have already visited Vrindavan, so you know. But it is said that actually when you visit Vrindavan, you should actually, go with the devotees, your senior devotees, because the mood is very important when we visit these holy places and when we try to understand the significance of, different pastimes and the places where Krishna, actually he appeared there and he performed his pastimes. And we have to also understand one very important point is that Srila Prabhupada always, he made this statement that there is no difference between Lord Krishna himself and his name, fame, pastimes, his activities, and his paraphernalia. So that is absolute nature of Lord Krishna. There's no difference between him and his pastimes and his paraphernalia. So in Vrindavan, as Lord Krishna has performed, all these actually activities and pastimes. So we can actually experience Krishna there when we visit, Means I do not have much experience, but all that I heard from His Grace Amrish Prabhu and other devotees, and Srila Prabhupada, has given many purports where he actually, described various activities of Krishna in Vrindavan as well. So we can understand actually when we visit Vrindavan, actually materially, from material vision, it may look like ordinary place. But if you go with the right mood or devotion, then it is said that Vrindavan will be revealed to us. Because in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that actually he covered himself with his yoga maya from the non-devotees. So it is not visible to ordinary eyes. It may look like very ordinary place and just temples and people, but for a actually devotee who's actually devoted to serving, Shri Radha Giridhari, who is very loyal to the Guru Shish Parampara, and if he has actually acquired that the mood, then they can reveal, the real Vrindavan. Because when we hear from them, then we understand actually what Vrindavan is, and we try to learn from it. So that is actually real significance of the Vrindavan Dham. And that's why Srila Prabhupada has said, because Lord Krishna has actually performed his pastimes there, that's why it is superior to Mathura. And then but superior to this forest is the divine Govardhan hill, because Krishna lifted Govardhan hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus-like beautiful hand to protect his devotees, the denizens of Braj, from the torrential rains sent by the angry Indra, the king of demigods. It is also at Vrindavan hill that Krishna tends his cows with his cowherd friends, and there also he had his rendezvous with his most beloved Shri Radha and engaged in loving pastimes with her. So here the glories of Shri Govardhan hill is given, and it is said that Govardhan hill, which is in Vrindavan, is superior to the actually Vrindavan forest. And the reason given here in a purport by Srila Prabhupada, because the Govardhan hill was actually lifted by Krishna himself, on his hand, on his pinky finger, and he held it like that for 7 days to protect all the Vrajvasis from the torrential rain, which was actually Indra was unhappy because they stopped worshipping him. So Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill to protect them. So the Govardhan hill was actually touched by the hand of Lord Krishna himself. And we also know, there are many pastimes with the Govardhan hill, that how Krishna convinced, his father and all the Vrajvasis to actually worship Govardhan, rather than actually worshipping Lord Indra. And that's why actually Indra got actually angry, and he started all this actually thunderstorm and torrential rain that flooded the Vrajbhumi, So Krishna has to actually lift the Govardhan hill to protect all the Vrajvasis. And finally, when Indra realized that Krishna is not an ordinary boy, he's actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he surrendered and he asked for the forgiveness. So there is a great significance to Govardhan hill, and Krishna has also, he used to tend his cows with his cowherd boys there on Govardhan hill. There are many pastimes he performed. Even one of the, it came into my reading that one of the most intimate pastimes with Krishna and Srimati Radharani, that also they are performed at Govardhan hill as well. So Govardhan hill is more superior to the forest of the Vrindavan. And there is actually, I would like to read this. There is actually the glories of Govardhan hill is actually given in one of the Vaishnava songs, written by Vishnunath Chakravarti Thakur. So I will just read the translation so we'll understand actually the mood. Here say, may Govardhan hill, which by Krishna's mercy became the king of all mountains and received the respectful tribute of his arch enemy Indra, fulfill my desire. As it was held above the earth, it became so filled with happiness by experiencing the softness of his beloved Krishna's lotus hand. It did not even know it was being struck by Indra's thunderbolt, may Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Trying to collect a toll, Krishna quarreled there with King Vrishabhanu's daughter. The personified Vedas earned to list to that quarrel, may Govardhan Hill, may Govardhan his fulfill my desire. Bathing in a nearby lake, the elephant of a pleasant breeze, covered with pollen of kadamba and other flowers, gracefully placed there, may Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Does the sweet fragrance of Govardhan come from the musk deer who relax there, from the Lord who plays there, or is it Govardhana's own natural scent? May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Searching there for Lord Hare on the path of his flute music, the astonished deer do not find him. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. As the divine couple traveled on the Ganga there, the boat began to sing in the middle. Krishna was splendidly handsome as Radha clung to his neck. May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. Without taking shelter of the feet of the hill, that is the best of Lord Hari's servants, and full of love for the divine king and queen, how is it possible to attain pure devotional service? May Govardhan Hill fulfill my desire. May the reader of these 8 verses, glorifying Lord Hari's greatest servant, his heart melting with pure love, quickly attain direct service to the lotus feet of Shri Radha Madhav. So this is actually just a song written by Vishnunath Chakravarti Thakur, glorifying Govardhan Hill. So we can understand there is a great actually significance to Govardhan Hill as well. And we all worship Govardhan Hill. And also we worship the cows as well. And as Govardhan Hill was actually lifted by Krishna by his hand, so it is all transcendental. We also worship Govardhan as a Govardhan Shila. And it is that's why Srila Prabhupada in his purport, it is said that it is actually superior to the actually Vrindavan forest. And then Radha Kund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund because this place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani. So Radha Kund, which is actually at the foothill of Govardhan. So Radha Kund is considered the supreme, it is even superior to Govardhan. So we're looking at the hierarchy here, Mathura, is superior to Vaikunth. Superior to Mathura is actually Vrindavan forests. And superior to Vrindavan is a Govardhan Hill. And superior to Govardhan Hill is a Radha Kund. So Radha Kund is a supreme, and where Krishna's love for Srimati Radharani overflows. So there is a very nice pastime. Actually, most of you may know how the actually Radha Kund and Sham Kund was actually formed. So everyone knows about that, or do you want me to actually quickly describe that one as well?
So you can describe it.
Okay, so the Radha Kund, actually there is a very beautiful pastime, but actually we will not take too much time. We quickly try to actually summarize that. The Radha Kund was actually appeared. So you know that actually there are many demons, when Krishna was in Vrindavan, who actually coming to kill him, sent by Kamsa himself. So one of the demon called Arishtasur, he was actually the bull. came to actually kill Krishna. So, as usual, Krishna managed to kill him as well. And when Aristasur was killed, because he was a bull, so basically a cow, right? The symbol of a religion. The gopis who saw all that, they actually blamed Krishna, saying that you have actually committed a big offense of killing the bull. Even Srimati Radharani actually said that because you have killed bull, you have become impure. It's a great sin. So we all know that actually, Krishna can never become impure because he's a supreme. Actually, anything and everything that approaches Krishna become purified. By just taking his holy name, we are actually getting purified. And there is nothing that Krishna cannot actually, purify. But here, as a pastime, because it was a pastime, so as Srimati Radharani said that Krishna, now you have become impure, then you have to actually need to do atonement to actually, remove that sin. So the only way you can do it is to go to all the holy rivers and take a bath and try to actually, try to atone your sin. So you purify yourself. So when Krishna heard that, then Krishna said, okay, so that is the way. Then what Krishna did, he was supreme. So he thumped his foot, his heel in a ground there. And that created a small pit. And then he ordered all the actually holy rivers, he summoned all of them to come and actually pour their water in that small pond or pit. And that's how Shamkund was formed. And then Krishna, taking a bath, then saying all that, actually, all the gopis become very jealous, and Srimati Radharani as well, because they are in a competitive mood, So Krishna, he could just created his own pond, what we call it now Shamkund. So they also out of because they are feeling very competitive, they said they will make their own pond. And all the gopis, along with Srimati Radharani, they started digging the land there. And they started to dig with their bangles. So they actually dig the small hole in the ground. And then saying that there are all the actually holy rivers, they appeared there, in their personal form. And they requested Srimati Radharani to actually enter in her pond. And that's how the actually Radhakund was actually formed. And it is said that actually, to come into the reading, that actually it is that place where actually when Srimati Radharani saw Krishna, so in that ecstasy, in that loving ecstasy, she melted. And also that was actually, the liquid was actually also mixed with that pond. And same, when Krishna saw Radharani, he was also melted. So there is a great significance. And we also know that when you go to Vrindavan, especially in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, actually there is everyone knows that actually Radha Kund is very, very important. So that was actually, just in a short, the pastime behind actually how Sham Kund and Radha Kund was actually formed. But it was actually lost, after many years, after 5,000 later. And in the next paragraph, it is described actually where, just going back there, just a minute. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the area, Vrajbhumi. Yeah? He could not at first find the location of Radha Kund. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually looking, for actually Radha Kund, the location of Radha Kund. Finally, he found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. So I also heard this, actually in a previous lecture, Amrish Prabhu actually, explained that actually there used to be paddy fields. And as you know, the paddy fields are actually, they are irrigated heavily, there is water everywhere as well. But when when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking for it, then actually they found the the ponds, very small ponds, which were very next to each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then actually said, this is the place. This is actually Radha Kund. And he actually took the bath in that small pond. And he was very ecstatic, at that time. And that's how actually those ponds were actually again discovered. And later, by his actually disciples, the 6 Goswamis. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and they actually excavated those areas, the ponds, and they built those actually in the kundas. Now we can see in Vrindavan. So it is said that actually, if you actually take a bath in a Radha Kund, it is very auspicious, and actually it can actually give you that actually the prema, the prema bhav towards Krishna. It can arouse the prema bhav in your heart. But actually, that is for the advanced devotees, someone like me or any neophyte devotees, it's not recommended to take a bath there, because it's a very holy place, It's a mercy of Srimati Radharani. Because even when Srila Prabhupada actually, when he actually brought his Western devotees, there to the Vrindavan and to the Radha Kund as well. At that time, initially, all those devotees, they just jumped into the Radha Kund and start taking bath, splashing water and all that. And Srila Prabhupada was very, at that time, disturbed, and he was angry. And he actually told all the devotees, you should not take bath. This is not a place to actually, enjoyment. This is a place where you come to beg the mercy from Srimati Radharani. So you can actually develop a love for Lord Krishna. So we should serve Radha Kund, It's not like that we just go there and take bath. Even actually previous lecture, His Grace Amrish Prabhu told us that when you visit, do not actually jump, swim there. You just, pay your respectful obeisances and just take some water in a hand and put it on your head. You ask for your mercy and you chant there. So that's why it's very important that we should visit these places of pilgrimage, Vrindavan Dham, with actually the senior devotees, so they can guide us actually. So with the right mood, we can actually experience these holy places. So that is actually importance of Radha Kund. And Radha Kund was actually appeared in the month of Kartik. It says it's appeared at the 12th midnight on Bahulashtami, 8th day of a waning moon in the month of Kartik. So at the appearance of Radha Kund, there are many thousands of devotees, who gather there and wait for the midnight. And they take bath in Radha Kund, and that is really ecstatic, to watch. So that is again in the Kartik month, which is very auspicious. So that is actually just a short background about the Radha Kund and its glories. And it is described here why actually Radha Kund is a supreme. And the next verse that we're going to study, that is, actually, that will actually explain the glories of the Radha Kund. So text 10. So we will actually focus on that point there. But here, actually, as I said, that hierarchy is described here. So I think we got just a couple of minutes remained. Probably we will continue next week. So do you have any burning questions? Just we got a couple of minutes. Otherwise, we can conclude this session.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So, just small question. Prabhu, we also know that there is a Mathura in the spiritual world, and then the manifestation is here also in the material world. And Prabhupada is saying that, and this Mathura is also. So, first question basically is that what is the difference between, and if you can answer now, it's fine. Otherwise, I can just ask it on the group, and maybe Amrish Prabhu, you can answer that later. But my question basically being that what is the difference, or is there a difference between that Mathura, which is in the spiritual world, and Mathura here that we see with our eyes? And because also when we go to Mathura and Vrindavan, nowadays we see meat shops, we see liquor shops in Mathura and in Vrindavan as well. So, is this the fault of our vision? Is this because we don't have Premanjan Churito Bhakti Vilochanena? Or is it that basically how to protect ourselves in that environment when even Mathura and Vrindavan have meat shops and liquor shops and whatnot? So, yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, good question, Prabhuji. So yeah, I think it's better because we only got 2 minutes left, and I think it will take some time to explain. Huh? So we will continue this verse next week as well. And you please post this in our intermediate forum. So we will continue on that point onwards, and probably I will also get some guidance as well on this point. Yeah. Take care, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. I think our next program is about to begin, so we will conclude this session here. ठीक है, जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्री राधा गिरधारी भगवान की जय, हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल।